is Ron DeSantis campaigning in Florida? And what does that say about the status of his campaign?
Yeah, it's a great point. The two things you can't lie about in a campaign is where you spend money and where you campaign. So here's a guy, he's been running for president for over a year. He came out, he was supposed to be, the new incarnation of a different Republican Party. And here, it's October, he's reduced to campaigning in his own home state. That's not a good sign. It's like Nikki Haley. She was running third in her own home state. All of this really goes to the fundamental problem that these candidates have running against Donald Trump, except for Christie and Asa Hutchinson. And that is, if you're going to run against someone, you have to walk on stage with the assumption, I am going to defeat this person. And they haven't gone at this with any sort of intensity and any argument why there shouldn't be Donald Trump. And that's still continuing. And it's this sort of timidity at the campaigns that I think is weakness.
Do you think, Stuart, DeSantis would have had any more success kind of juxtaposing this law and order campaign that he is now on, that he is touting, right, being surrounded on stage by sheriffs in the state of Florida, and comparing that to what the former president is facing right now with 91 criminal charges?
Yeah, I mean, look, of course, if it woke you up in the middle of the night a year ago and said you're going to be running against somebody who has 91 indictments against him, 91 counts, do you think you ought to make it an issue in the campaign? Of course you should. But, the problem here is you have to get inside.
He hasn't. And so I just wonder why they haven't gone back to the table and said, maybe we should. Maybe this isn't working for us.
Listen, this campaign, the more money it spends, the more they campaign, the further they go down. That's usually seen as a negative indicator. The problem is where the party is, and you have to get inside their minds. So they see Donald Trump as the current president, who's an illegal president. They stole the election from him. And now this deep state, because they can't stop him from being elected president, they're trying to lock him up to stop us from re-electing the person who should be president now. So inside that world, it all makes sense. It's kind of like believing in crop circles. It's a unified theory of the universe. And that's the problem a guy like Ron DeSantis has. He's running to get these voters, and he's not running to educate these voters. He won't go out and say, you shouldn't look at it this way. This is wrong. We are the law and order party. We can't have this president. And, until he does that, I think he's just going to keep sort of fading into the background.
Stuart Stevens, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Resolute Square.